Yeah.
So I just realized.
Hey, how goes it? Ken Bosak here to talk about Bitcoin and Bitcoin accessories. And today I'm here with my fellow friends and enthusiasts. We got Rice Crypto and Smart Trekken in the house. Say what's up, guys.
What's up? What's up?
What's going on, G&Gs?
Yeah, man.
Saturday
All
So
Night
right.
Live.
there's a lot going on this week. There's conferences. Well, last week I should say. There's still some that's still going on. I guess Ethereal Summit's just wrapping up. Consensus is just starting. A lot of mini news and major news actually in this space recently. Far as mini news, I guess I'll go first. I wanted to give a big shout out to Ujo Music. Ujo has launched their mainnet, so go ahead and check out Ujo Music, guys, where you can stream music through the blockchain using MetaMask to actually pay for it while you're streaming it. And you can tip, so you can listen to a song even if it's for free. You can click tip, and as long as you have your MetaMask wallet linked to that browser while you're on the Ujo Music platform, you can tip your favorite artist directly from your wallet with just one click. Ujo is definitely tearing down those middlemen between you and the artist creating the content, and they're eliminating a lot of the financial cut in between that as well. Have you guys checked out Ujo at all? I know Emojin Heap's on there. They just launched, a new artist had just launched their brand new album on there. I think it was Rec or something like that.
I haven't
Let
checked
me
out
ask
any of the artists.
I'm just hearing about this one, but I have a question on the end of is so from the side of the content creator side. So like if you're how now you have music producers who just do like they'll do like a mix CD, I guess to say, or a mix tape, right? Like, so could you do that on there, or do you actually have to be like quote a performing artist, like you have a band, or you're a rapper, or you're a
I
singer?
think
Like, can it
independent.
just
No,
be?
you can be independently.
Yeah, I mean, see, the idea of what this kind of what Ujo is doing and is basically it's a blockchain. It's eliminating the record companies and using the blockchain to do that. So
Okay.
if an artist has a song, they're going to have the song available on the blockchain. And when you purchase that song in whatever avenue that might be, as soon as you purchase it, that money that is supposed to be distributed to each individual, it's like a smart contract based on the blockchain, and the money would actually be sent out right then. So if let's say X amount supposed to go to the band, the songwriter, X amount supposed to go to the producer, the engineer, or whoever it might be, it cuts out the middleman completely. It's just like what cryptocurrency does with cutting out the intermediaries and the banks. This cuts out. It's very disruptive to the music industry. And I was a singer in a band, and I'm a musician, so I've looked into things like this. And anything that is going to disrupt what we currently have going on, I'm all for it, especially when we talk about the music industry. Because if you talk to any kind of musician, you will see that it is nothing but corrupt. They're just trying to get money. They're just pushing out pop music, just trying to
360 deals.
they don't care. Yeah, the 360 deals that people don't even realize is bands are signing away their merchandise, their live concert revenue, whereas in the past, their revenue, what they were going touring, was all just for them. But now, with the 360 deals, a lot of money has been taken away from bands, and they're not able to make. And really, all a record deal is just a loan. That's all
Right.
it is.
Yep.
So
Yep, pretty much.
it just,
Pretty
it
much,
just,
and you got
you
to
know,
pay it back.
there's so many artists that depending on the deal that you take, that once you get signed, you're not going to see a dollar for quite a while because you've got to recoup the money that
Yeah,
they
you got to take
spent
a loan
for.
out on the loan you already took a loan out on, because by the time
It's
you ever get
crazy.
paid, you already owe people money. You got to pay rent.
And I checked
Yeah.
out something about Ujo about a year ago. Here in North Carolina, Wake Forest University has a FinTech club, and they were putting on a convention, a little mini convention here in downtown Winston-Salem. And the Consensus Coin, with the Y, not the Consensus Convention, they are, I believe, the parent company over top of Ujo. And that's where I started first hearing about what they were doing. And I'm definitely really impressed. You got artists like Bjork, who's done a complete. She put out an album on a blockchain and did this thing. I don't think it was through Ujo, but it's still the same concept, and it's creative destruction and it's disrupting
Oh, you know what? I
industries.
just thought of an artist that would definitely be interested in this. I spoke with Little Boozy. You spoke. Yo, why don't we
Yeah,
get
yeah.
Boozy on Ujo? That doesn't even. Why not? He's into the tech industry.
He, we had that side conversation, bro, about my position on who he has around him who understands the space. Not somebody who's like, oh, I have like a bunch of businesses and marketing ideas.
Right.
You need that tech person who gets this. Not, oh, well, I'm a computer science engineer, so I can understand this in one, two, three. Like, no, dog, no.
You're
Like,
right. You're
don't,
right.
no. So yeah, but okay. So then my other question on this thing would be: would it be like a pioneer to tokenizing a a product? Because like, so for example, you make a song, or I make a song, you listen to it, and then Chris listens to it. You pay for a copy of the song. Like, are you paying for streaming access to every time you want to hear the song?
Hmm.
I think I'm not sure, but
Yeah.
I think Ujo might have a streaming service that they have set up where you could do like a Spotify type thing. I'm not
Okay.
100% sure, but then at the same turn, I think they may have an option where you can just directly purchase, so
Well,
you
they
own it.
just launched on the mainnet today or yesterday, so this just happened. Now that they are on the mainnet, though, I will be definitely checking them out more. Be linking my MetaMask wallet to the browser, so when I'm on the website, I can get a little bit more interaction on it, see how things go down. I've actually been more of a spectator, just looking at people that decide to use the platform as far as artists go, and the artists that are
Mm.
deciding to use the platform, they're unconventional, and that's what I like about it. I feel like those unconventional artists, they're going to make a very big niche for themselves in blockchain, especially because they're getting into the like the music that we are going to be exposed to as enthusiasts on these platforms are going to be that unconventional music, not that mainstream pop jingle that we're getting blasted at from their mainstream radio. This is going to be actual music,
Mm.
something that we haven't heard in a long time because of the way that the industry is run. And even Justin Timberlake has to make one shitty pop song a year just to get his fucking album out. So we're gonna
Right.
see that change, man.
Okay.
We're gonna see people that are like, even Justin Timberlake, one of the wealthiest people in the music industry, is still at the mercy of the industry. He can't make an album just because he wants to without conforming to the rules and making that pop hit with Rihanna or somebody else.
Okay. Okay. So now, still running further down the rabbit hole on this platform, right? And are either of you paying attention to who Nipsey Hussle is?
I'm familiar with Nipsey's been around for a while.
Right. But have you heard the conversations that are going around about what he's looking to do in the crypto, as far as the same thing along this as being able to distribute directly to the end user his content. Um, but it makes me think of the other thing about I was saying about the tokenization where because I was talking with somebody else I know who does music production about being able to have your musical content and then in regards to tokenizing it to where it's that unique product. So let's say you make a song, right? And you put my name in one of the verses. Now, some people are egotistical enough to where that would be a thing that they would want to pay for.
Yeah, Trump had that with Mac Miller, right? The whole I'm on my Donald Trump shit. He fucking sued him over that. So you're right.
You know what I'm saying?
You're right.
But but imagine now, like, if you take it to that thing of where you're personalizing songs for your users, where they might have a version where you add in a whole different bass drum compared to the joint that's being played on the radio.
Oh, that would be dope.
You know what I'm saying? And that's just me running around in my head.
No, I like
But
that. I do like that. I mean, imagine if you had multiple unique versions of the song. So now, not one version was ever the same, and different beats or different instrumental, different words were different per release of the song. I see what you're. That would make it potentially endlessly valuable because it would be an infinitely different song, right? I mean,
It'd be a Mona Lisa. Did a musical Mona
A
Lisa.
musical Mona Lisa. Holy shit! If that ain't the title of this first song that does that, that would just. It's a waste, a missed opportunity, man. I like that. All right, so anybody else have anything from last week that we could talk about? There's a lot. Let's see. Trek, you got that Salt shirt on. Anything Salt been up to?
I don't. Okay, I'm gonna say I have not been keeping on the P's and Q's. I get the emails and like I'll just scan over them, and I don't necessarily go through reading in details. But I will say, based on what the traffic has been like with them sending me the emails, like the updates, they're making their progress. Like they're definitely pushing across the states and expanding out into different territories. I myself am not utilizing it as a participant, but I am paying a slight amount of attention to them, enough to know that they are making progress. And there's a couple of events coming up that they're going to be at, like Consensus in New York. I think there's something in Detroit, and there was some other place I saw in the email that I can't remember right now. But
Alright,
like
cool.
they're definitely getting out, and they're hiring. I forgot what they're hiring for, um, but I know they're hiring for some stuff right now because I forgot who I follow on LinkedIn, and it's like in
Yeah.
his sub bar
Probably
thing,
one of
like,
the
hey, we're
founders,
hiring.
right? Yeah, I follow those
Yes,
guys,
it
the
is. It's
founders
not
that
N.
team.
It's the other guy. I can't remember his name, but yeah, like it just so happened I grabbed the shirt because I'm upstairs, and my upstairs is hotter than my downstairs. So, you're just sitting around the house all day with no shirt on, and then it's like, oh no, I got to be professional right now. There's a camera. Put the
Yeah, I
shirt
got a
on.
bright light
Here's what
bulb
I
right
grabbed.
there. Constantly just makes me sweat. I should probably do this and do like a shout out to Chris D Rose from Bitcoin Uncensored and just do a topless live stream. You know, those guys were crazy,
But
man. They got their start on like an adult content platforms streaming, so that was freaking cool of them, man. They did like a live stream last year from the bathroom, like almost naked. It's pretty cool.
That's crazy.
Yeah, dude. So shout out to those guys. But yeah, anybody
Did
got
you
something?
did you guys happen to see? I saw some articles yesterday where they're talking about Facebook is talking about utilizing cryptocurrency and doing a payment system, which would also mean that they are looking to possibly acquire, as opposed to creating their own coin, they would acquire
that's the
another
same shit I
coin.
said.
So
That's
they
the
could just
same thing I said.
literally just purchase like any particular company has their own blockchain. Now, obviously, it's going to be centralized,
Yep.
but it's still anything that's going to help lead to mainstream adoption. I'm all for.
Yo, okay, wait. Let me throw this one out there for you. So, and then we're gonna jump to this segues to Amazon because Amazon has or someone's throwing out shit about Amazon doing the same thing or asking the question. But right, if it's a matter of, and I think I brought this up to you, Ken, a couple of weeks ago about if you have these established entities like an Amazon or a Facebook, and they're like, oh yeah, we kind of want to get into the space, but they don't want to actually do it from the ground up, right?
Right. Doesn't make sense.
What is it? In regards to the investment time and the turnaround, no, it doesn't. But you know what else you can do? Grab a shitcoin that failed that had all the infrastructure there. And you know who had all the infrastructure there? Centra. Think about that.
There's a lot of coins. I mean, there's really a lot. Any
There's a
coin that's
few.
utilizing their own blockchain that's got like some decent technology. I mean, is really even Dogecoin.
Yeah, but they
mean,
said it has
anything.
to be something centralized, something that they can control completely, so it's not out of their power. Where something goes wrong financially, they can't do a reverse.
Right, yeah.
They got to be able to do that for their shareholders and their customers, right? So I mean, yeah, I can see that. I mean, I'm more interested in the theory of Facebook acquiring Coinbase.
I don't know, man. I mean,
Or partnering,
I don't know.
partnering. Could you imagine Coinbase being built
They
into
hired.
the iMessage? Yeah, exactly. They hired the guy
They
from
hired
Coinbase. So
an ex-
imagine
yeah.
iMessenger having that Coinbase wallet built in where you log in with Coinbase via iMessenger. And now I can send you, because they have USD wallets, I can send you USD, Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum, or Litecoin, all in the iMessenger, and Facebook doesn't have to be hands-on, right? They're just a custodian. Maybe they get transaction fees because they're the wallet and Coinbase is just the UI.
Wait, so then that would be like the relationship Coinbase has with Spotify as far as Coinbase Commerce is concerned.
Sort of. That's what I would think. Yeah, something like that, but I think a little bit
Okay.
different because I think Coinbase would be the exchange and Facebook iMessage would be the wallet, or Facebook Messenger would be the wallet.
Yeah.
So you would never hold your private keys. Facebook would, or fucking
Downside.
Coinbase, you know, because they do. And it's the same thing. Same exact thing as using Coinbase, except you're going to be using Facebook Messenger. And I feel like they're going to have a lot more information on people than people are going to expect, especially when you're going through, like, you know,
You probably won't have to do a
wallet
KYC. You
Yeah.
probably wouldn't have to do it. They got so much information on you. I mean, they've
Well,
been collecting so much, you know,
yeah.
so why do you got to do a KYC?
No,
I mean, you know
how about this?
everything
No.
about me.
How about you would probably have to validate your information? Because think about this. How many people who have been on Facebook for a while actually, and I'm talking about like, I want to say, I don't want to say the conspiracy folks, but the people who are more
conservative of their identities.
information awareness, like those folks. Because I know people who've been in Facebook for years and never put their real information in.
Right, and Facebook's actually blocking those accounts, freezing those accounts, and forcing people to go through KYC.
Exactly.
But hear me out. If you log in to Coinbase through Facebook, Coinbase does KYC, period. Period.
Yes.
So if you can log into that Coinbase account through that Facebook account, KYC is kind of already done deal for Facebook, right? I mean, you got KYC through Coinbase, verified and authentified, and now why can't Facebook just assume, hey, that's you financially, right? And now
Well,
your
eventually-
history that you thought for the past 10 years was anonymous just because you logged in with this, now it's not. Now they know it was you talking shit on that Facebook page, and now you're in some kind of list or something.
Nine times out of 10.
You know, there's social
Like, I was-
points. They've been
I was
experimenting in China. They've been experimenting in China with social ratings and points.
Yeah,
and stuff like that.
It's Black Mirror as fuck.
Yeah, it is. We talked about that with our first show that we did together, Ken, the Black Mirror thing. It's totally coming to life in that avenue.
It's a
crazy.
documentary in the making.
And they're doing the same thing with the alt news sources. Like, oh, is this trustworthy? Is this have you seen that new campaign that's going on YouTube now, where it's like, you know, what is it? We provide the news, and it's like a under a minute joint, or maybe around a minute, and it's like all of like the CNN, CBS kind of news reporter people, like the cable news side folks, and it's this whole thing about like them being there to distill or dispense the truth to the public and let them know what's really going on. And I'm just like, the first time I seen it, I didn't really pay attention because I wasn't listening to it. I just saw the images, and then I was like, who the hell are these people? And then I started seeing like the captions for the station. I was like, wait, what? Hold on. Wait, wow. And it made me think of a conversation I had recently. I was asking a friend of mine about, she does baking, and she's primarily on Facebook. So I was like, well, why don't you use cryptos for any of your stuff? And she said, honestly, like, nobody's talking about it. I don't see anything on Facebook about it.
Ooh, that's because they banned it.
And in my head, I'm like, wait a minute. I know for a fact there are trading groups in Facebook. I know that people do advertise stuff that they do in cryptos on Facebook. And I'm just like, yeah, but it's there. Like, you think because Facebook told you something isn't relevant, that's mean that it really is what it is. I'm like, there are literally 2 to 3 conferences globally a month on cryptocurrencies and or blockchain.
$1,000 tickets.
Telling me,
Or $3,000 tickets.
exactly. And you're telling me because Facebook told you or didn't tell you something was relevant, it doesn't exist.
Wow, that's a
Like,
strong point, man.
Bro, it blew my mind when she said that to me. And I was like, what? Like, wait. And then it brought me back to the YouTube thing and seeing that whole like, oh, we're dispensing the truth. We're letting you know what's going on. No, you're fucking not. Like, some of the ads
I haven't heard
see...
them talk about anything on the mainstream news about the Venezuela Petro and how an entire country just created thin air money and it's backed by gold that isn't even out of the ground yet, and they're looking at trying to give Iran a 20% discount on crude oil with it. Not one fucking time have they mentioned
India. It's India.
30%. It was India and it was 30%.
Oh, it was? My bad.
Yeah. But still,
the first conversations...
But it's
the first conversations
backed by crude oil.
Started with Russia, and I've heard other little ramblings saying that Russia was kind of sitting in the background in conversations
and
with them about it.
Are very public. Like, there's plenty of pictures with them.
See, they're experimenting with countries. What they're doing in China with the social point thing is an experiment. What they did to the Venezuelan economy is an experiment. And what's happening, what's going on in China and what's happening in Venezuela is going to happen globally. That's why they're doing this shit.
Yeah, but they don't want people that are in poverty to take advantage of this opportunity, right? Because if those paradigms shift, like, dude, it's scary, right? Like, imagine when people hit the lottery, they do some dumb shit, right? If everybody even owned 0.01 Bitcoin in this country, it'd be a problem for the government because they can't afford for the citizens to have more wealth than the people trying to control them, right? Like, it fucks everything up when I have more money than the president, or everybody has more money than what the president gets paid. You know, it's like, well, shit, what do we do? How do we control these people?
It's crazy, man. That's why I'm an anarchist, and that's why I'm a voluntarist.
That's why they're telling you to buy Ripple.
Let me throw this dagger in it on the double-edged sword of this last couple of things we just said, right? Segue into one of the other articles I came across about what's his name, Crypto Crow, aka Jason Appleton.
Yeah,
he's about to have his show on CBS, right?
It's everywhere, not just CBS, bro. It's bigger than that.
Yeah, it's going to be on some CBS. It's going to be CBS in some areas. It's going to be on CW in some areas, and then it's going to be
everywhere.
Roku
worldwide.
Everywhere. Yeah.
Okay.
But it's also something he's funding too with Bitcoin. So I want to ask him more about that, like, because this isn't like something the stations picked up and they decided this is a good idea. This is something that he has somehow got a way to get into the system, and he's using the community, I'm assuming, to help him.
Yep.
So
okay, so and the way the article, for the parts of it that I read, they're breaking it down saying CBS is distributing him in limited markets, so like New York, Jersey, and a couple of other cities that are somewhere down in the article.
Yeah.
But the thing that got me was they also talked about like what the possible subjects could be and like what will be covered, and everything seemed to be price oriented. And we have this conversation all the time on Bosak about how what's going on in the popular narrative of stuff right now is everything is about price, money, price, make money, get money, and people are so on the, I don't want to say bling bling, but the cha-ching part of it.
Yes.
That trying to understand the technology is like over there somewhere, and when you try to bring up a phrase like economic sovereignty to someone in the States, it just totally, like, how does that make money for me? How does that help me pay these bills?
yeah,
Because there's no connection.
it frees you, motherfucker.
Yeah, that worry about paying your bills, that's it goes away. That's what that means. That
Bro,
feeling that you just got when I said something and you had to, that feeling that made you say, how do I make money? That feeling goes away, and you get to say, how do I enjoy life now?
That's a wonderful thing.
It is. And I feel like right now with this show, in one part I'm like, all right, this is a good thing. Then this is where the double-edged sword of it comes in. In one part, it's a good thing because now you have a apparent, readily identifiable, like, haha, this is a moment where it's going to be put into the masses as far as by a media source. Now, granted, the issue now comes into what I'm talking about, and how is it going to be presented to the public? And I have issue with that part of it, in that it's going to be about price, about money, about, you know, what are you getting out of it as far as being able to make a buck, not the, what I would say is the more original or sense, or the older mantra of this whole crypto thing of, hey, this is economic inclusion, this is economic sovereignty, this is getting away from that capitalist mentality. And I used capitalist mentality in air quotes because understand, like, I get we have to pay bills, we need money in order to buy food, and you know, you need if you want to take a vacation trip, like, you got to buy the plane ticket and you got to pay for the place you're going to stay with money. I get all of that part of it, but I feel like there's a shift happening in the popular narrative, and it's taking people's understanding away, and it's limiting it because it's only being presented through an economic spectrum of, look at it only as far as what is the price value of this technology, as opposed to understanding how the technology can help you, and the money part will come into play afterwards.
Right.
Like, that's just me and how I think on stuff.
Yeah, did you see that episode on The Big Bang Theory? How they made it look like it was so complicated, rocket scientists couldn't figure out anything about it. I was like, yo, yeah. I smoke a lot, and I mean, I get it, and I'm pretty sure Sheldon's IQ's like 10 times mine. I don't understand how they fucked this up, but you're right, and the way they're portraying it is that way, and hopefully, like you said, Crypto Crow has a sprinkle of tech in there with the whole price thing, but I'd expect it to have content where people are using it, how to use it, because you have people that work in New York City as taxi drivers that send money home to wherever.
Yes.
I think in the article I saw, I think he had like a tentative schedule with like what the content of the shows were going to be about, and it's like really basic education to teach the masses. So I'm sure there's going to be like some news and some other stuff thrown in. Is it going to be like Bill
Nye, or is it going to be like, you know what I mean? I'm so excited to see it.
I'm thinking it's going to be similar to like his YouTube channel, which has decent production. I mean, he's not a bad dude. So,
but is it going to be a show? Like it's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, or is it going to be like a, you know, an educational thing, like, you know, Money Talks? Like, I'm
we'll have to see.
Exactly.
But we could talk.
Okay. How about this? One, I'm not trying to implement any way of negative light about him, because I've never watched his channel, and until just today, I didn't even know about him. Right? So I don't want to make it sound like I'm coming at him or what he's trying to do. I actually am envious in a small way that he was able to get that worked out, because we talked about some other thing, Bosak, but the other part is, how about we watch the first episode and then we have a conversation of sorts about that first episode?
Well, maybe we can do like a Talking Dead thing. After every episode, we just come on and talk about it.
About his show?
Okay.
About Crypto Crow show?
Yeah, exactly. Maybe we'll get him to come on one of these days.
It could be the After Crow.
The After Crow. All right, that's it. I'm going to steal that name right now. I'm typing it in. It's mine, guys. I own it.
That's so funny.
So I have something here for the nerds. Just something real quick that we can talk about. Wax.io. Wax is a cryptocurrency blockchain basically built for gamers, where you can trade in-game currency. It's designed and founded by Opskins Go. They're a platform, again, where you can trade in-game skins or content like rare gun. If you're playing certain games, or if you play Rocket League, there's certain skins that you can get, stuff like that are limited in the game. So because the in-game content is rare and limited, you can transfer that, and it has value, some up to like $700, some thousands of dollars worth of in-game content. You can trade this now using cryptocurrency. So if you go on, you can go play a video game, gather in-game content, put it up on the Wax.io platform, and say, yeah, I want some Wax coin, and you can trade that for Bitcoin, and there you go. So you're making money playing video games. But right now, they have a bounty program where you can make a little video that explains this, or a meme, like a simple funny meme, and if it's good enough, it gets enough votes, you can actually win a couple $1,000s worth of wax tokens. So it's really great opportunity for gamers to get into the industry, especially where micropayments are important. So you don't have super chats from YouTube stealing 30% of people that are trying to contribute to the gamer, right? Like Twitch and all these centralized authorities, man, they take a big cut. And imagine if you wanted to give me 30 cents, right, as a super chat. You can't. It's only $1. But that's all I get at the end is 30 cents or so. It doesn't really incentivize content creation, right? It's kind of robbery in a sense. So I love what Opskins did by creating Wax. And they took their original platform where they were already doing in-game digital content trading, but they saw the need for blockchain technology to authenticate content and to serve as an escrow. Have you guys checked that out at all?
I did not. I have to definitely look into it. And it made me actually think of something else. Have you heard of Gitcoin?
Go Mobile Go is another gaming coin, and Flip Token. There's a couple out.
Okay, well, this is not along the gamers line, but it is along the techie line. If you're into like program development, software development, open source stuff, it's along that line. And do you know who Portia is? She does Blockchain Explainer.
Portia, I feel like I've definitely seen that. That's on YouTube, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. I was thinking Facebook for a reason.
Yeah, she's a developer. She put that out, and it's one of the things I'm actually going to start using because, like we talked about, I'm doing the I'm self-teaching myself. That doesn't even sound right. I'm teaching myself Solidity in order to be a smart contract dev. So this particular site called Gitcoin actually it works to how to say this. It is. I would say it's more like a bulletin board, but a fancy enough looking bulletin board for people who are interested in trying to figure out security flaws or whatever in open source projects, and you basically monetize on it in that you get on a project and you start working out whatever the issue is and you'll get a reward for it.
Oh, like Earn.com in a sense.
Yeah, so like
GitHub and Earn.com kind of put together.
That's awesome.
I believe it's under GitHub. I'm not 100% certain.
I think I've heard about what you're talking about. I just didn't know what the name was because I do think GitHub is going to be working with something like that. I mean, we're going to see a lot of utility tokens coming out in a lot of different avenues. Everything.
Okay.
You know, that's where we get to choose like how we want to spend things. You know, like I can use Bitcoin to get those utility tokens. I can use Litecoin to get those utility tokens. So I mean, it's gonna. Whereas now I have to use my U.S. dollars to do things. I'm forced to use this money that I don't even believe in, that has no value to me. That just like so. I love this option of what we got going on here.
Yes. Okay. So to jump to a segue into a third article that I had found, or a second, whatever. But somebody posted something on LinkedIn earlier. Ripple, right? XRP. Is XRP considered a utility token?
No,
because they don't utilize it. They don't use it.
Okay.
It doesn't do
they're
anything.
also talking about it being a security as well, and I think there's some lawsuits going on because of the fact that it should be a security.
Okay, so my thing that got me when I saw the piece that somebody promoted, like they put it up and they kind of threw the question out, and the title of the article was like, Ripple could mean something for utility tokens. And then I read the piece and I'm just like, what? Like, one, the title is clickbait. It's misleading, totally misleading. Because, like we just said, Ripple isn't a utility token, right?
It's not even a cryptocurrency.
And so in my head, and then I'm reading the article, and in the first part of the article, it really sounded like a real fluff piece, right? And then as I got halfway through the article, the dude was like, totally switches his tone, and I don't remember the name for the author right now. And then he starts going on about the class action lawsuit and how the person who started the whole thing, he was just mad because he lost $500. And this is like, wow, like really 500? it made me think of a couple of different things. One, the author didn't know what he was talking about because of how he was interchangeably using Ripple and XRP in the piece. And then two, saying that Ripple was a utility token. And then he made statements of comparing Ripple's use case to that of Bitcoin. And I was just like, what? Like, what? Who are you talking to and what are you reading? Like, I don't understand.
Maybe, dude, sometimes people troll. Like, you ever see The Onion? I feel like crypto's starting to get that, where people intentionally are trolling the space. It's not even like their real opinion. I feel like some people are just trolling us anymore, man, because that's the only way that makes sense, right?
Okay, yeah. But, okay, so, Ken, we on the same page about stuff. Chris, like, you get how I am, at least in X amount of our conversations now on things where I'm about like the underground level stuff. Like, I might talk to business folks and, you know, try to sit in certain conversations as far as associations that I'm a part of and things. But I definitely more side with the people on the ground level, right? And one of the things that I'm noticing in what I'll see pop up in my LinkedIn feed, and it just might end up being because of like the people that I've connected to or whatever, but the mentality thing. And somebody put out, what's the name of the dude from Facebook who left Facebook?
Oh, wow, yeah. Crap. I know his name.
I can't never say his name.
I just smoked, man. I'm blanking. Damn it, I know that name.
But we get who I'm talking about, right? Yeah. So he made a comment the other day on some, you know, financial news thing when he was talking about how he's from the school of Warren Buffett, but Warren is wrong on, you know, cryptos. And what I see happening, or at least how it's looking to me within LinkedIn for what people are posting as like, here's this article, or here's a video that somebody said this thing on, or somebody will throw out a question, is you have the people who are business minded throwing out things that, as somebody who's been in the space for a while, like, we'll look at it and be like, that's not really cryptos, or like, that's not for the people. You're having a financial institution level conversation about regulatory arguments for and against something, as opposed to let's come up with something, or let's be able to put something in place that will actually help everyone and not just a few select group of people. And that's what I feel like I'm seeing on LinkedIn as far as that stuff is concerned. But what it brings me to is that confusion that you see happen in Ripple, as far as the XRP being one thing, and then the company Ripple being another thing, and then the infrastructure suite that they have and the options they have in it. So I've heard enough people at this point go, oh yeah, you know, Ripple is going to be it. And when I ask the question of why do you think Ripple is going to be it? Oh, well, you know, because like, look, the price doesn't fluctuate the same way, and oh, they're endorsed by the banks. And I'm like, yeah. And mind you, up until maybe a month or so ago, I didn't actually understand the difference between Ripple and XRP and then the other services that they offer, because I just didn't look into it. Once I heard the base point of it's centralized and it's not really a token, I didn't even bother with it.
Well, not only that, but like the creator, owners, whatever, the company owns 60% of the supplies. So I mean, they have a complete like, it's just complete manipulation under that way that coin works.
Wait for them to dump some into circulation and just poof.
And just screw the whole thing, right? But what then got me was once I actually understood what the difference was and what services they had. Now when I'm talking to people who are, quote, financial experts, or who come from that financial business minded background, and it's like, all right, so why are you actually supporting this? I'm realizing most of these people do not understand that distinction. And then they're the ones going out in other media platforms and promoting Ripple as, oh, it's promoting, they're using Ripple and XRP interchangeably. and then they're promoting it as this is going to be the secure money. This is going to be the thing that lasts in the long run. And I'm like, hold on. Have you read their website? Have you actually even glanced at their white paper? Have you seen what their ad campaign looks like?
Yeah, no, I mean it's bullshit. That's why that's why one of the reasons why I wanted to start my YouTube channel was to be able to help educate people because we got to let people know about this stuff. Otherwise, people are so conditioned to listen to the media and stuff like that. If somebody's a financial analyst and he says something, they're going to believe it. It's just like, that
we comes from blah blah blah, and they have this acronym behind their name. And
no, but the thing, the money, like the money is going to come in, and like one of the things that I saw with news just recently this week, Ethereum is now they're doing Ethereum futures. That's long.
Yes, that was in UK, London.
And then there was an article a couple weeks ago or 2 weeks ago from the SEC talking about Bitcoin futures being one of the main reasons for the price being down the beginning of this year, the first quarter of this year. So, that's and then something else that I saw that I thought was really interesting, where you're seeing a lot of the Asian companies that are helping with Huawei. I'm not sure if I'm saying it right. But
Huawei, it is.
They're building.
I know what you're talking about.
They're putting together phones that are going to automatically have Bitcoin wallets preloaded.
It's called Huawei, and yeah, they're the world's third largest smartphone manufacturers. What they did was they teamed up with
Huawei?
Yeah, that's how they say their name, Huawei. It's ridiculously hard. Okay, I know. It's not your fault. I worked in cell phone repair for like 7 years. For 6 of them, I said it wrong.
Say it again, though.
It's just Huawei.
Huawei. Okay.
Yep, Huawei, but with like H's everywhere. I don't know.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, so they're the world's third largest smartphone manufacturer, and what they actually did was they partnered with BTC.com, who created the Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash wallet that will be in the bloatware app store that's pre-installed on the Huawei phone. So you don't have to go through Android. You don't have to go through whatever other centralized. It's the Huawei app store that actually hosts this application, so you can install it directly from the bloatware.
So it's like the Samsung app store, but for that system.
Exactly, yeah. So you don't have to worry about Google kicking them off the App Store down the road. It's built into the bloatware, but it's not pre-installed. That's where people are getting confused. The App Store is pre-installed. The Bitcoin wallet is in the App Store, so you still have to install it and set it up. So people are a little overexcited. I feel like if the Bitcoin wallet was already installed and they had to delete the bloatware to get it to go away, like it's already installed. It's pre-installed running.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So I appreciate you clarifying that,
dude.
No
problem, man. I looked into it on that one. One, is that going to work the same way as like the traditional crypto wallet where you have your private keys and your keywords and all that? One, and then 2, if you what is it when you not unlock the phone? What's the other thing?
Encrypt it?
No. Where you are able to
factory reset it.
No. Oh, God, what the hell is the name of the thing? It's not unlocking the phone. Unlocking the phone makes
rooting it. Rooting it.
Okay. Rooting it. Does that mess up access to that to any of those core apps?
It shouldn't.
Okay.
Yeah, most roots don't unless you're specifically looking for like a total rewrite and something like that. But most rooting is just so you get admin permissions to do certain things or remove certain things like bloatware, like that app store. So that's what I mean by saying if the app was pre-installed and it was unremovable without rooting it, that would be different. But they still have to intentionally go through and install the app and run it. It's not like it's in the it's not like it's on the phone already. It's just in the app store that's on the phone already.
Okay. Well, okay. So I only brought that up because like I am so ready to get rid of my LG phone, but
Well,
Samsung
Huawei
has
is teamed up with Siren Labs, so they're actually a blockchain OS, dude. The whole phone is supposed to be a blockchain operating system. At least that's what I think, or that's the one they're working on still. But either
Yeah,
way, they
but
did
that's gonna
partner
be.
with them.
That's gonna be a completely centralized deal too. So I mean, it's like even though your data might be on a blockchain, it's gonna be still kind of controlled by an entity. So I've been looking into some companies like Stealth Grid and a couple others that are trying to create encrypted cell phones that are completely out of like government hacker.
Well, MGT, before McAfee left, he helped MGT design a encrypted smartphone that's not.
wasn't that like $2,000?
Yeah, it's not going to be cheap, but
yeah, but they need. But I mean,
coming.
the more they work on that technology, though, the more that they can get that price down. Which
Right,
would be
4K
great.
TVs weren't always cheap, man. So
Like, what are those new batteries they got coming on phones? Like, they're super cheap. So it's like there's all kinds of new ways to improve to get the prices down.
Hey, did you guys want to talk a little bit about that South Korean exchange being investigated by police and the Mt. Gox trustee moving Bitcoin around, and that's what is creating this artificial, in my opinion, artificial dip. Can't be supported long, can't be suppressed long, especially because of the Ethereal Summit Bitcoin conference in New York. Then we have the rodeo in Canada. There's the World CryptoCon in Vegas. We got the shit show the 23rd this month in Philly. Everything's going on. Even Tone Vase has an event on the 18th and 19th in Philly. So, I mean, I don't feel like this price can be
last forever.
Suppressed.
It's not going to be everywhere.
They're doing like, look, I mean, this is complete market manipulation. Like, the way the news has been strategically being released, the way that all these big financial people who are respected in the world, like Warren Buffett and Jamie Dimon
and
these
Bill
guys,
Gates, everybody saying it kills
strategic,
babies and shit. Like, what the
but
fuck
they're
is
taking,
that?
Dude, that
they're
was
taking
just
turns
fucking...
though. They're taking turns. Like, this is your week. No, this is your week. Yeah. So like, they've been doing this because if you look what's going on, you've got one of the owners of the New York Stock Exchange starting to talk about doing a crypto exchange. You've got you've got big money getting ready to come in. And the thing that people have to understand about that situation is that big investors do not get involved in anything until there's blood on the street, like just straight red. So this is complete market manipulation and suppression as an invite to all those rich guys, all those Wall Streeters, all those analysts. It's just a way to say, come on in, fellas. We're gonna hook you up at a discount. Join us, and then it's just gonna take the hell off.
Well, yeah, think about it, man. If you were, market movers, right? The wealth of the world, you can't afford to come into a industry like this now, where if you were to start buying it now, it'll just keep going up in value to the point to where you're making everybody else way richer than you'll ever get. Like, that's what they're trying to do.
See,
that's why you have over the counter though.
Yep.
There's purposeful shorting going on that to help keep the price down. The Mount Gox stuff got moved about a week ago, and I think it got moved to the Trekken exchange, from what I saw. So people are following this, and I think there was a portion of the coins that were sold off, but it wasn't, again, the full portion of what's still available. And so, it's like there's being strategic about all this. It's like a group of people are just working together. Because, I mean, ultimately, the global financial institutions and all these big controlling companies are going to, if cryptocurrency disrupts the way it's supposed to, it's going to put those people all by the wayside.
Okay,
all right, quick segue into Robinhood app raising $363 million for zero fee cryptocurrency trading. And they're live in like 5 states right now where people are buying and holding and trading with zero fee right now, bro.
Yeah,
and not only that, key?
Doesn't matter. It's a toe dip, bro. It's a toe dip. When people start to care about that, when it does matter, that's going to be great. But this is how they start to care. This is that Trojan horse of give a shit. We sent them a big pile of whatever the fuck they love. It's all shit. But in the inside, it's like knowledge. It's like we're hiding knowledge in the shit that they love. The stock
I'm-
market.
I'm-
Now, the other thing too that's really cool to consider and think about is that not only did they raise that amount of money, and they're planning on doing some expansion, obviously, so that's a big deal. But
Big.
their membership base, the people that use Robinhood, has now surpassed like eToro and E-Trade. So
Premium
it's,
memberships, yeah.
you know, that is insane to think about.
But that's what
And-
pays for the zero fee for the minnows. So
Yes,
that's why I love.
understandable.
That's why they're called Robinhood. They're literally forcing people that want to trade over 5 to 25,000. The more money these other assholes want to trade, the more money they have to pay to help the fish become whales. It is a beautiful fucking application. And people don't understand where the free comes from. Like, nothing's free. You're like, right, someone way richer than you is paying for it so you can trade for free, not have to worry about those $10 fees that TD Ameritrade's going to hit you with. Good luck.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say yellow flags on this one, and maybe I might just have to wait and see until like next year and all of that how it plays out.
Are
But
you
in
saying
my
with Abra?
mind,
Do you think Abra is the same? Because I know you're saying the private keys things bothers you, but is
the private
Abra?
key things. Okay, the private key thing bothers me, as well as is it actually that you're buying crypto, whatever thing it is,
No.
or is it that you're
It's
What
the
the
same
hell?
thing. It's the same thing as what Abra's doing. It's a synthetic futures contract, basically. So the only crypto, and that's when I did a video too on my YouTube channel about this with Abra. The only two cryptocurrencies that you can actually own with your private keys that you have through the application are Bitcoin and Litecoin. Any other coin that you invest in through like the Abra application is a synthetic future to invest in that coin based off a CFD. That's a contract for differences. So you get paid off of a certain. So it's like if you you increase your Bitcoin or you increase your Litecoin. That's all you're doing. By speculating whether or not like OMG or, and now they just listed 5 more. So they got 25 cryptocurrencies that you can speculate on in addition, you know, to the actual 50 fiat crypto, the fiat currencies for their peer-to-peer system, you know, peer-to-peer payment system. So that's a pretty big deal. Abra is huge. People have no clue what kind of
I'm not
effect
saying
Abra's
it's
gonna
not,
have.
but if you're talking about getting into that price speculation stuff, which in my mind brings us back to the same thing I was saying about that. Like, I get that there are certain things coming down the pike that are just going to be a part of this history as we move forward. I get that. But there are definitely things that I would say I'd rather deal with an Abra over Robinhood because of how their things are set up.
Not only that, but the CEO and the belief of the company. I mean, like the CEO of Abra, there's a lot of stuff that they're doing in Philippines. They're working on like a kind of like a crypto city. Like they're taking like a city and they're doing an experiment with that. And so he's trying to be very, I think his name's Bill Barnhart, if I'm saying it right. But he's trying to disrupt a lot, man. And, you know, the contract for difference thing, it's basically kind of like investing like with Robinhood or something like that, but with training wheels. So it's giving like the everyday person who does not have a lot of money, who's like Filipino people and some of these people in Africa and like in third world countries where, you know, they don't have access to a whole lot. And this is going to be able to give them opportunities to be able to learn how to invest and not have to really risk a lot and not have to do a lot, because Abra, you can do like $5, you know, there's no.
No, I get the thing of like micro
awesome.
investing. And to me, the saving grace is that there's actually a crypto in there. There's not here's a promissory note on the future price. No,
Right.
like you get Bitcoin, you get Litecoin. Robinhood? Like, no. Like, and you know what? Like, is this gonna make money for people? Yes, it is. We all get that part of it. They didn't make this investment, they didn't take this risk unless they weren't gonna make money. I get that part of it. Like I said, I'm just on the end of, I try to keep this thing of
No, I
promoting
100% see what you're saying.
economic sovereignty, like understand how it plays out. When you start jumping into the legacy system's new version of something and don't understand all of the moving parts behind it, it's easy enough to get rope-a-dope, especially if everything is just being given to you from this one aspect of, hey, money, make money, price, cha-ching. So like, what the hell did he just say that made me think of some other shit? And I don't even smoke, dog.
Well, hey, we got time for one more thing. If anybody has anything that they wanted to bring up and talk about, I have a small little thing I wanted to say because it just came out today. It's not really like too far back, but Civic just partnered with some vending machine company and Budweiser.
I saw you did a video on Facebook.
It's an official vending machine at Consensus sitting there waiting for me to just walk up and open my Civic wallet with my fingerprint, and then they have a QR code and I scan it. And Civic's like, yeah, he sent us a picture of his driver's license and he meets the criteria for whatever the fuck. Now give him that shit. So now the vending machine doesn't know who I am, doesn't even know if I'm a guy or a dog. It just knows I'm 21, so it gives me a beer. Now I get to keep my privacy and have the security of knowing that a minor won't have a beer instead of having to give up my privacy to ensure the security of somebody, which in return kind of deters the security of my privacy, which doesn't make sense.
Let me ask you, because in New York City, they do have like a cutoff time, right? When like you have like the bars have to stop serving alcohol.
Same thing down in DMV.
So how would
I think this vending machine's indoors, so
how would that work though? I mean, would you be able to buy beer 24/7?
Well, it doesn't accept crypto for the beer. It's just using the blockchain to verify
for identification.
Identification of age. That's it. Not identification, really.
Yeah,
just verification of age. That's what I love about it. That's going to be
part of the future. I think there's a self key might be trying to be doing like basically where you have your KYC on a blockchain, where you control your privacy, where you have private information, public information.
Right, but imagine a DMV app. That's Civic, where I can walk into a bar and they have a QR code. If I scan it and it shows a green check mark, it just means I met the criteria. So now, like for us, it doesn't really matter, but I like to use the theory, like imagine if you're a girl and you want to go to the bar and some creepy dude's asking you for your ID on the other side of the bar and you show him your ID just so you can get a drink. He knows your name, your address, a lot more than what's necessary just to get you the liquor behind the counter. So it definitely changes the game when you think about what privacy really should be and what levels of it there should be.
It's a baby step, and things like this.
Like imagine if you get pulled over by the cops, man. They don't need to know anything more than you do not have a warrant and your car is insured and registered, right? So why do they need to know where I live and all that? My name, my last name. Here, just scan it. There, do anything come up?
Dude, in Florida they scan your eye on your retina. Like that's your whole thing right there.
I might take that if I could at least pay for coffee with my retina. If I could walk into Starbucks and just ask for a coffee and walk out, I don't know, man. That might work out. What's that movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger? He has the thing.
Total Recall?
Yeah, no, not Total Recall. He has like a twin.
That was Total Recall.
They made a copy of him. That's Total Recall?
That was Total Recall.
Yeah.
Makes sense, right? Total Recall. Yeah, I get it now. It was so freaking long ago. But I remember he had to get his eyes scanned. Could you imagine doing that every time you wanted to buy something? But I think that the whole having my ID on my phone is a powerful thing people haven't considered. I lose my ID for a day. I have to go buy a new one. It costs money, and then I find the old one. Now I'm carrying 2 driver's licenses. I'm technically breaking a law. It's like such a fuck of a system. But if I can put identification on a blockchain and it can't be counterfeit, it can't be manipulated, you know, it's on my phone. It's just like having a private key. If I lose it, I just, hey, yo, let me log in real fast, scan my finger on your phone. Your phone now has my info. I can scan that. I can get into the club with you. I left my wallet at home. Let me use your Civic app on your phone real quick so I can get in.
That's what's up.
Right. It changes everything, man. I love the idea of it. It's just, I don't know. I mean, it makes the Internet of Things that much more possible. Think about it. It's a vending machine in New York City that I'm going to walk up to, scan something. It's going to give me a beer, and I'm going to walk away with it. And that's the future.
Okay. Let me throw this one out there, which relates to what you're talking about in regards to blockchain. So DHS head guy, I don't know what his name is. It was like the second one I sent you, Bosak. he basically was at some hearing thing with one of the departments in a congressional meeting, and he was just basically saying there is a discontent going on between the technology vendors and the business vendors right now as far as how there is no standard or universalness of practice for blockchains as the protocols go in regards to like so let's how am I saying this? Bitcoin has its blockchain, you can do X, Y, and Z with it. Cardano's gonna do its thing, you can do X, Y, and Z with it. And then Ethereum has its thing, you can do X, Y, and Z with it. But as far as like the how to say it, private sector, public sector, governmental institutions are concerned, it's like, well, let's say the state level is using one blockchain, the federal level is using another blockchain. They're not both on the same set of standards, so there's going to be a potential issue of what do they call it, siloing or something like that, where if they don't come up with a standard as far as what everybody's using, then you're going to have the issue of how do you integrate everyone to being able to, how do you integrate the different levels and agencies?
Right. I get what you're saying.
That communication in between. So if I'm a technology company and I'm making, case in point, the phones, right? And I have it set up for one blockchain, but let's say that one blockchain only is working for the country I'm in, but I'm in like 8 different markets globally. I need to now come up with something that works to do the crossover, the bridge between what's going on in Asia as far as the Asian standards are concerned, and then what's going on in Europe and in America as far as what blockchain setup they're using.
Right. I think those standards will come, though. As it's integrated, it'll work itself out like Linux did, Android, or not Windows, Mac.
Yeah, we'll probably see a lot of cross chains. You'll see like things like atomic swaps, where you'll see a lot of partnerships with companies. I mean, this what I think will end up assisting ultimately a lot. I think it's a good way to kind of break things towards an end is AI. AI can help us in connecting those little spaces. And coins like AGI, Artificial General Intelligence, that has Hanson Robotics and Sophia, their robot that is the first Saudi Arabian citizen. Coins like that could be what helps bridge that gap. Robotics and AI are definitely coming, and AI is going to be incorporated in blockchain.
So AI would be the translator. That's what I would say, right? Where you're thinking, where's that intermediary? Who would we communicate? I think you're right. If you want to be in 8 different markets, maybe there's an AI algorithm that can just simply take whatever you've created, recreate it in those 8 other different ways, and now you have some access to those markets. Maybe there's a cost, of course, associated with that.
With something that's similar that I understand too, with the way that they're developing the Lightning Network, when they're talking about merchants starting to use it for acceptance, it's honestly the way that it's been explained to me by some tech people is it's just going to be plug and play. Like all they have to do is it's like, because I said, how are they going to be transitioning in their system, their computer system, their registers, their POS, whatever? How are they translating cryptos versus dollars and all?
And there's a lot of incentives for that.
They said that the technology is already kind of being built in. It'll just integrate into their system, plug and play. It'll just kind of work, and then companies like Walmart, for example, they'll have master nodes.
Yep.
So. It's
giant nodes full of Bitcoin or whatever.
Technological. And on that note, Gabriel Higgins, I think is his name, the guy who Looking Glass Studios is doing your editing for your video, Ken.
For what?
Your
for the 360 one. Yeah, I'm still waiting on that.
I went over there, man, and checked that place out, man, and the stuff that they're doing. And, that's wild when you look at, some of that virtual reality stuff.
I know, dude. That's why I went with them. They're expensive, but it looks so good.
The future is so crazy, man. It's so awesome. We have a chance to change the world, and we have a chance to change the world for the better, not only with technologies and disrupting governments and getting rid of third parties, but we have the opportunity to change how we are as people.
Yes.
which I think is like, that's another thing that I talk about too, is like on my channel, is that we need to take this opportunity. If we're talking about tearing down systems and changing the world, we need to change ourselves too.
Exactly.
Humanity as a whole. So
be the change.
Be the change.
Change starts
Practice
small.
change. Practice
I always
change.
say change starts with you.
That's Gandhi said that, man, and I say that a lot too, because I talk about practice change as one of my things in my videos. And you know, you have to be the change that you want to see the world in this world. You have to set an example. Is basically what that means.
Yes.
Yeah, I want to do a quick shout out to everybody in the chat, guys. Oh wow, we got a super chat, man. Thank you very much. What
we got
up,
some
people
awesome people in the
behind
chat,
my
man. I've been talking.
Thank you, thank you.
I wanna give a shout out to,
Appreciate
like,
that.
Veteran of truth and cryptology, Jeffrey. I like big butts.
Agartha, how goes it, bro? Yeah, Jeffrey Butts. Crypto man, how goes it? Of truth in the house. Cryptoology, the study of crypto. I like that. I had a
That's
username
cool.
Yeah. back in the day. It was Potology.
That is a cool name, though. I commented that in the chat.
Yeah,
Cryptology,
Max
man.
Kaiser
Cool, though.
roasting. Yeah, it's funny. Yo, I'm actually gonna be at the Max Kaiser event in New York somehow. I kind of just got a tweet from Stacy Herbert right now saying I'll be live streaming the Max Kaiser event.
That's
So
what's up, man. That's what's
that's
up.
that's so funny. Like,
I'm not gonna be able to make
can't
this
wait
one
to
with
be in
the
a
Kenn.
room full of these people and just like, yeah, I got Cannabis for men, you know.
I'm definitely gonna be following your stuff, man. I'm not gonna be able to make it to this New
be
York
great.
thing, but Vegas and some other conventions, we're definitely gonna be hitting that together,
Yeah, dude,
bro.
I'm going to the maybe you're going to the crypto shit show, ain't you? We're gonna meet up on the 23rd in Philly.
Yeah.
I'm driving up for that one.
All right, cool. We'll all be in Philly together on the 23rd at the crypto shit show. Tone Vase, I'll be at that event on the 18th and 19th. And
Was it a trading seminar or what is it he's doing?
Yeah, trading seminar. There's
Okay.
one free on the 18th and one paid on the 19th in Philly.
Is he
Definitely worth
supposed to
checking
be
out. It's on
attending?
meetup.com.
Is he supposed to also be attending the Philly Bitcoin or the Philly crypto meetup?
He's coming to the shit show, he said, from what I understand.
Okay. That's
so
cool.
you
Wait,
should,
which
yeah,
Philly
you
meetup?
guys should meet him. He'll be there.
That's what's up. I'm more really interested in like the tech stuff and learning and talking to Larkin Rose.
Yeah, dude, that's gonna be awesome.
Yo, I met him at the one down here. That's where I met Larkin Rose at. He sent me his book.
Yeah?
Good dude.
Yeah,
Yes,
and
he
I
sent me his
interviewed him
book.
before, actually. Pretty cool.
Yeah, I
Hey guys, I gotta get ready to dip out, man.
All right, man. Everybody, if you like this live stream, don't forget to pound that thumbs up button. Don't forget to click
apologize.
subscribe and flick that alert bell right next to subscribe. And yeah, man, have a day.
Yeah, man. Thank you for joining us. Appreciate
appreciate it, G and G's.